A new Hulu documentary is examining the life and legacy of Sly Stone. Sly Lives, a.k.a. the Burden of Black Genius, tells the story of the rise and reign and subsequent fade-out of one of pop music's most influential artists.
To me, one of the greatest things about Sly is he's letting us peer into something very free. The appearance, the clothing, even the wigs, it was from another world. When it came together as the sound, it was so future.
You can't hear it and not dance a little bit in your seat.
Yeah.
The movie from Oscar-winning filmmaker Questlove also sheds light on how Black artists in America navigate the unseen burden that comes with their success. Now Sly Lives, a.k.a. the Burden of Black Genius, is up for an Emmy next month. Director Ahmir, Questlove, Thompson, and Oscar-winning producer Joseph Patel are here to tell us more about it. Congratulations and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
So, Questlove, you're an Academy Award winner, New York Times best-selling author, multi-time Grammy winner. You have a lot of projects under your belt.
Some things, yeah, I do.
But you say you often go into projects with one question and don't always end the project with that same question. So, what was your question going into this and coming out of it? And do you feel like you got the answers you were looking for?
Really, this project starts with when we were editing Summer of Soul. Because the Harlem Cultural Festival that Sly and the Family Stone was performing at was 10 days before Woodstock, which some could say is the kind of black and white to color transition in Sly's Wizard of Oz world. And as we were editing, I was like, wow, Sly doesn't know that in 10 days he's going to do Woodstock, and the entire trajectory of his life is going to change. And for me, the events between 1970 and 1973 are my most curious, area about Sly's life, which is what happens when you get to the mountaintop. Why does it not, why is it not what it seems? And he will start a slow string of self-sabotage moves that otherwise, if you're watching him, you'll just say like, well, you only had one job. Like you've made it. You made your dreams come true. Just show up and
just stay there.
And oftentimes a lot of my peers in the music industry, and outside of music, sports, like that's nothing new. When you get to a pinnacle, and then you start to subconsciously act out and sabotage. And so for me, I wanted to know what was happening in his life that made him want to sabotage.
You say he was the perfect subject to explore this question in general. Why?
He was the first, right?
Yeah, he's like Sly's level of success is different than, like before Sly was Ray Charles, Motown acts, James Brown, Chuck Berry. A lot of the acts pre-1968 technically didn't have, like Chuck Berry couldn't legally stay in the hotel that he was entertaining in. James Brown can perform at the Copa, but he can't go there as a patron. So as a result, Sly is sort of the first, air quote, black artist that is somewhat free, or at least it's legal to, to exist. And but my assessment is the baton that eventually gets dropped by him will be picked up around 1982 by Michael Jackson. And we all remember like the domino effect of Thriller.
Yeah.
That should have happened to Sly Stone after Woodstock. And instead, the baton was too hot to hold.
Interesting. So, Joseph, what surprised you most in terms of the things that you learned about Sly Stone working on this?
I came to the project I wasn't as obsessed and well-versed in Sly's music and trajectory like Ahmir was. And so I think having those two different perspectives was really helpful in honing in on the story that would make sense to a wider audience. And for me, I think it was when he released There's a Riot Going On, and how it was received by people, right? He had just headlined Woodstock. His next album, everyone's waiting for it. And he releases a slightly blacker album, and he gets savaged by the press for it. And I just thought, what kind of pressure that must have been for someone so young and so talented. And it really sort of feeds into this larger idea of like the burden of Black genius, like what happens when you're successful, more scrutiny on you.
Well, congratulations on the Emma nomination. I know you have a few of those too. EGOT coming soon, I'm sure.
Hopefully.
I'm out of time, but really quick, what do you hope people take away from this film?
Really, you know, this is, I would like all creatives to watch this film, to know that they're not alone. You know, it's not just reductive to singers or, you know, like this encompasses everyone, even non-creatives. Like, self-sabotage is real, and oftentimes when you get success, you feel isolated and alone, and oftentimes you'll try to dim your light just to be likable.
And not something people talk about often, so such an important thing to highlight. Thank you both so much for coming on.
Appreciate it.
Sly Lives, a.k.a. The Burden of Black Genius, is streaming now on Hulu.